We are heading towards the Kirk, Colorado area right now for a supercell. We have a bit of a complicating factor already here. There have been tornadoes reported North Dakota and South Dakota so far today, and there was also one reported in Nebraska, but I don't know if that one's real or not. But we are in Colorado again today, heading towards Kirk, where a couple of supercells are trying to get going here. Moisture is very, very low, and we also have a problem with an outflow boundary that is surging towards us. So lots of stuff to keep an eye on. Definitely a day with a lot of moving parts. So there's a tornado watch also down in Texas. And there was a pretty tornado up by Faith, South Dakota as well. So we didn't have time to make it to any of those places, so we're playing this target down here. This outflow boundary could make things really interesting quickly, or it could kill everything immediately. So we're gonna have to just see what it does. There's not a ton of measurements where it's coming from, so we don't really have much sampling it, which is a little unfortunate. But it is now stretching from between Burlington and Goodland southwest, so it's between Haswell, Flagler, so it's kind of west southwest to north-northeast or east-northeast orientation. So we're gonna see what happens with this. I'm not too sure, because it doesn't seem like it's the world's coldest boundary, but it does look a little bit dry from the one station that's been able to sample it. So we're gonna keep blasting. This is our storm off to the left. There's another cell directly in front of us here. So I was gonna go up to South Dakota, but then I realized I had no time, so I had to come back down. But thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Welcome in Dakota. Yeah, I'm gonna call you 888 for now, but yeah, there's something coming from down there. I'm not too sure what it's gonna do, but it's either gonna make stuff really interesting or really boring. But the best environment is way off to the east, so our storm has a lot of moving and maturing to do. And this boundary is kind of going to be its first test. The good news is it doesn't seem very strong, doesn't seem very cold. So I'm interested to see what it does. If our storm can survive this, move into northwest Kansas, we should be in pretty good shape for a good tornado threat, but it's just a very, very uncertain thing today. But I'm getting the vibes today, you know. I feel like maybe we could eke something out here. Don't have a good reason for that, but we just got to see what this boundary does before we can get much certainty in the forecast. So we're still 35 miles off this updraft. This outflow boundary is probably going to reach us. I'm not sure if it's an actual outflow boundary or not. I looked at it earlier, and there was kind of some weird little boundary hanging out in southeast Colorado, and then a bunch of storms came through and pushed it north. So not completely sure what's going to be going on with that, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it. And it looks like this storm north is blowing tons of outflow now. Getting dust kicked up in all directions. So that is our storm right there. We're turning towards it right now. There's some dust getting kicked up on the edge of this outflow. Our boundary is just south. I think the boundary is about 20 miles south of our updraft, 20-25 miles. So that's definitely the main concern for right now. If the storm survives that, I think we're in pretty good shape. Because it doesn't seem to be moving fast. Maybe it could be slowing down a little bit. It may just be trucking along there, but getting some strong downdrafts and dust getting pushed up way out ahead of these things. So definitely very high based at the moment. I wish I would have looked at everything last night, because Texas looks pretty interesting today. Like right on the interstate between Amarillo and Lubbock. There's a couple storms trying to go up way down there. Let's see if we can get this boundary. Let's see if this boundary has been sampled any better. I mean, it doesn't seem very cold, which is the good news. It just seems it seems mostly hot and dry, so a little atypical for a boundary like this. And there's a 62 dew point in Goodland right now. Temperatures are really hot though. It has a 90-degree reading, but it's a very sharp gradient. Just a faint little boundary coming up. It's almost to Burlington right now. Maybe 8 miles from Burlington, 14 miles from Stratton, 15 miles from Flagler. So I really think that if we're going to get a quick tornado off the bat, it's going to be this. But this might just kill our storm right away. So got a nice base on this thing. It's broad, it's high based. Could get maybe a big little dusty thing, but the thing really needs to make it east, I think. But it's just not moving very fast. It's basically just sitting there. If this thing was probably a county east, I mean, I'd be really excited, but it's just crazy how much of a difference that little space makes. Good today, we got a good night's rest, got some food. Been rehydrating. I got a little dehydrated yesterday. I got a little bit groggy at the end of the chase. It's not gonna happen again today. Big time hailer trying to form here. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Yeah, but that southwest thing just looks like the initiating boundary. I don't think that that's bad. That's just going to move along with the storm. I think this southern thing is moving up quicker. And I think that's what the problem is going to be going forward. Look at that image. Crystal clear. Not sure anybody got the reference, but I'm just not sure what this is going to do. It definitely seems like it's starting to slow down a little bit, which is probably the best case scenario. If our storm starts pulling this thing in, we might get some crazy stuff happening. But we're going to get to Kirk here and go south to get a better position on this storm. We're a little bit north of the updraft right now. I was listening to the Twister soundtrack on the way up here, so I'm a little amped up right now. I also had a coffee before today's chase. I didn't have one yesterday. Head up to County Road M up here about 6 miles and go south. I'm not sure how to play this. I mean, I think we just gotta wait and see. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think there's a couple really possible scenarios. Number one, it comes through, initiates too many storms, and it gets messy. Number two, we get a quick little land spout type tornado off of it, and it kills our storm. It could stall and our storm could attach to it, which could be a little interesting. It could just kill our storm off the bat, undercut it. But I really think we need to get up on it. Whoa! Hopefully we got that. Tumbleweed crossings here. Just had a crazy bolt in front of us. Yeah, that northern storm's got us completely outflow dominant now. There are so many possibilities about what could happen here. The boundary's definitely just kind of faint coming from the southeast area. I'm a little optimistic. Got a feeling. Dusty outflow. Alright, we're going south here in a mile towards Kirk. And then further south towards Stratton. that dust rushing into the other storm. Wonder if that cloud line is our boundary. It might, I think it is. Getting strong downdraft south. So very shaky on the evolution of this. I hate these wait and see things. I like being able to know. There's a chance we get a land spout when this thing merges. I'm hoping it just slows down. I think that's probably the best case scenario for our storm, and it slows down enough and our storm can kind of just ride it into Kansas. But seems like this very well could be a storm killer. Getting on a very nice updraft here. Pretty broad base. Yeah, we were getting a southerly wind here, or excuse me, a northerly wind here, the outflow from the storm. Yeah, Nevada gal, that bolt was crazy. It flashed like 10 times. I mean, I said, what the bolt and stop. Okay, what is it gonna do? That is the question. The question. So we're heading towards Stratton, Colorado right now. I had a really pretty storm here, June 16th of last year, just a little bit south of there. It was tornado. I never saw a tornado that day. I had like a couple suspicious things, but just a pretty storm for the most part. Actually, it was one of the stream. The Dallas stream thumbnail. Is that? I was looking for a hailstorm, and that was the best that I had. So I try to match what I'm like the thumbnail to the chase. You know, like I don't want to be showing a wedge tornado if I think I'm going to be getting, you know, or if I think the ceiling is structure and lightning. I try to match them up. But some days I just don't have time and I just open the last thumbnail like today. But definitely a big time storm day all up and down the plains. I mean, there's severe thunderstorm and tornado watches from almost continuous from Mexico to Canada. Our storm's downdraft is weakening a little bit. Get a couple miles south here and keep going east. It's very high based. There's not much lowering, so that would make tornado off this boundary seem less likely. If we had like a dew point of, I don't know. If temperatures weren't so hot and the dew point was higher, it could be really interesting, but seems like our storm's putting out outflow as well. storm is north of its own outflow. So we could get something interesting. Two boundaries collide, but what an odd day. Classic June. And all the dust getting kicked up really makes the windshield dirty fast. Definitely losing some downdraft strength. Could be good, could be bad. There go those Texas storms, severe warned. Several supercells down there. Definitely still early in their lifetimes though. They're crossing that boundary now. We gotta check the updraft on our storm. I'm a little concerned. Nope, still a strong updraft, so. Maybe it's a little weaker. It's definitely on a weakening trend as of past couple scans, but in person it doesn't look too bad. It's just that downdraft weakening that seems a little weird to me. You'd think that this would just be pushing out strong downdraft, but definitely lost it a little bit. Boundaries are going to collide next couple minutes here, but our storm's not on the boundary, so two boundaries are about 9 miles apart. The storm's going to have to start sucking its outflow back in. It feels maybe like the door for any tornado threat later is slowly closing. Heading towards McMillin, but basically over the middle of nowhere right now. That South Dakota target has initiated. Seems like all targets have initiated now, so sooner or later we're gonna hopefully see something great. The downdraft seems to be weakening. Just gotta survive for a little bit. We're gonna go down another 5 miles. It just looks really rough right now. Storm is just struggling now. possible to get a scenario where the outflow just, I don't know, gets shoved north by this other boundary and creates something cool. I don't know. There's got to be something being forced there. Boundary moving south, boundary moving north. If we're lucky, that southern boundary is still unstable on the south side of it. Definitely got like a messy base right now. It's looking disorganized with not very telling structure. It doesn't really look too much like a supercell at the moment. Alright, we've got about a mile, 2 miles, and then we'll turn. I'll clean off the windshield again. Alright. 1 mile-ish. Very high based. Gotta hope for a mesoscale accident. That's all we can do now. These mesoscale accident, or mesoscale days in general, are just some of the more interesting days to me. Because they're days where it's like not a super high potential, but you just need a bunch of stuff to go right for a tornado. Alright, we're taking this road right here. I'll show you guys what I mean by our storm looks a little rough. We got tornadoes. Hopefully they're not blocking the road. Nope, not bad. Yeah, our base is looking a little rough. Downdraft has weakened quite a bit. Go down a little more. And it's definitely very outflowy. Stop here. Clean off the windshield, and we'll watch whatever's about to happen. No clue. I would assume nothing because of how everything is rolling. definitely broadening a little. But I can kind of see just that southern edge racing out. It's a pretty storm, but I'm not sure this is going to have the tornado potential we're looking for. And if this doesn't work, I mean, I guess we have to fly all the way back up to Nebraska. Let's look at everything going on. They won't issue warnings with tornado ratings, will they? I don't think they do that. Yeah, we're watching this base right now, kind of. I'm wondering if where these two boundaries kind of collide north of Burlington, it looks like we might be getting a storm behind us. If that updraft behind us roots, that's going to be our storm. That's not even a question. That might just be what we have to do. Storm continues to look smaller and smaller. Look, there's a storm going up near McDonald, Kansas. We're gonna look at satellite because we may just have to blast over there. Yeah, there's definitely like a little tower poking through. That would be the storm that we'd want to get on, I think. Seems like it's forming on boundary collision thing. Because this thing just looks not good for... How quickly can we make it to max? Max, Nebraska. 79 miles is gonna be an hour and a half, hour 40. All right, we might have to drop this thing and fly that way. We'll give it a second to see if this boundary interaction will do anything, but to me it just looks like it's getting pinched off. Yeah, and there's some updrafts trying to form along this. Definitely not the best looking supercell I've ever seen. Yeah, there are numerous updrafts trying to go up in northwest Kansas right now. There's one northwest of Goodland, southwest of St. Francis, another one north of Bird City. That might be the real target. We'll give this thing just a couple minutes. Yeah, because these boundaries colliding should set something off. I mean, it's already initiating on its own. I don't think that this is going to be it. I don't think this is going to do anything. We may get some land spouts going here. That might be the limit of this storm. We got some dust getting kicked up to our southwest, where the boundaries are starting to collide already. Alright, we're gonna head that way. We're gonna head a couple miles down this way, see if we can't get a land spout off of this, and then we're gonna head way northeast again. Man, I started the day in North Platte, and I set my preliminary target to Grant, and then I came down for this storm, and it seems like that was the wrong choice. There's some definite boundary. I think we have to at least it's just way outflow down there. Getting some dust getting kicked up on the leading edge. It seems like the outflow of this storm is much stronger than the air pushing north. We got updrafts in east of us. We may have up here. It may just be outflow. Can't tell. We're so far off this thing that it looks rotating a little. I can't. Right in front of us there. That's where that dust is getting kicked up. I don't think it's a land spout. It might be, but it just seems really tilted, so I'm going to say it's just outflow. Yeah, there are several updrafts going up northeast of us. We'll hit the interstate maybe, blast up that way. What an odd day. Yeah, because our storm's just completely behind the boundary now. We just gotta hope that something goes up in northwest Kansas, because that's really the only way I think we're gonna see anything. But if we can get there is a chance that there's something going on near Seabird, but there's a bunch of people over there according to Spider Network, and nobody's reported it yet, so because that's kind of where the boundary collision happened. All we've seen is some dusty outflow. It just might be too high bases for land spouts too. I was thinking like maybe when those two air masses collided that. But we definitely need to get east, I think. We're gonna go down a little more. How far down is this? Alright, well, it's probably gonna be quicker to... We're gonna head towards, I guess, Bird City. get any sort of land spout thing, it's gonna happen now. And just to our southwest. Yeah, there's just a bunch of boundaries trying to get going here. And that storm that's in southwest Nebraska right now has a crazy overshooting top on it, and it just dropped its first bolt. I think we need to head up there. We're gonna hit the interstate, go eastward, and hope for the best. Didn't get the interaction we wanted, but I think that's just because our storm went outflow dominant. There's a bunch of updrafts going up over there. We just got baited too far west. And there's like a squall line already moving through. Goes that tornado warning up in South Dakota. Just want to see if this thing is gonna give any funny business here. Like, there's definitely a little bit of like cyclonic rotation being detected on radar between Siebert and Vana, Colorado, right on that boundary. It's not very strong, but what's that, like a V-rod of 20? Bases were lower. Seems to be going away a little bit. But yeah, no, there's a bunch of storms initiating north. This is getting messy. clouds. We're just east of wherever that little shear thing was. Definitely a little bit weaker, but I mean, it's generating new storms. Okay, we're south of both boundaries now. But there's just a little area of shear that's could be cyclonic, but see some dust getting kicked up again. Seems very broad. Turn towards it. It's a weak little area of dust. Looks outflow dominant. Just not sure. I want to get east, but I feel like this thing could just do a tricky little land spout right as we turn away. Really high based. Not seeing that dust anymore. I just think we might get like a land spout or two. I just feel like the second we turn around to leave, it's gonna happen. Do we just fake turning around to leave to try and trick this storm? might be what we have to do. We might have to just try and trick the storm. Make it think we're not looking. Sometimes that works well for me. Like there was a tornado outbreak in Wyoming and the Nebraska Panhandle last year on June 23rd. Oh, there it is. Is that one? That might be a land spout right there. It might just be a gustnado. Look at that. I think that's just a gustnado. Look at that right in front of us. Gustnado thing. Looks like a gustnado. That's not a spout. Some rotating dust in front of us. Seems mostly just like outflow. Crossing in front of us there. Definitely just seems like outflow. Well, at least we saw something that spins. Where was this thing? It was up here on the left. Oh, look at that. That is a strong gustnado. We're getting multiple strong gustnados on this thing. Can we see any more from up here? Well, whatever spout potential this had is probably about gone. There is a little area of rotation there though, just to our west, up in the base. It's pretty weak. There's like a little eddy up there. Alright, we probably just need to start moving. I was hoping for a spout out of that. I thought we had one with the way that was whipping around, but that was definitely just outflow. The storm is trolling us. We're gonna get going. We're gonna get going east, and then we're gonna wait for that whatever land spout report comes in. Behind us, of course. Well, there was an attempt. A little boa. I'm not sure what this is trying to do. And then we got a couple updrafts going up east, and that one by Max, which is probably what we would want to be on. But we're still like an hour and a half out from that. Yeah, we're an hour and a half away. was hoping we would get a spout. That would have been awesome. The way that dust was moving, I really thought we had one. That was one of the stronger gustnados I've seen. It just wasn't long-lived enough. And it never connected to the base, so it's not a land spout. The chaser right there. Make sure no train's coming. Alright, we're safe. Definitely strong outflow now. There's maybe like a little area where it might try to do it, but definitely too much outflow, I think. Man, we got baited so far west, it's going to be tough to catch this thing. This new storm that's going up, because I think that's going to be what we want to be on. Gotta hope that we can get on something. I think that max storm's gonna be the one. I think we're just too far away though. Well, there is another outflow boundary flying in from the northwest that might take that out. June in a nutshell. Stopping for? No bridge. Storm. I wish we were there, but I think it's going to get undercut before we even get close. I gotta get 89 miles. And even then, we're still probably not gonna make it. That boundary is just flying out from that MCS. Dew points were just a little higher today. There's no way I was making it to that Texas target in time. No tornado warnings in Texas yet. Type thing. Embedded supercell? I don't know what this thing is. And there's just a bunch of storms initiating now. This is just going to get so messy. Good structure at least. Keep going. don't think that stuff by Max is going to mature enough before that cold outflow hits it. supercell threat might be done already. I have to go for some squall line stuff. This road construction's long. Elevated. Cloud shelf cloud thing from this. I don't really think we have any options for any other supercell threat, but man, Texas looks like the place to be. multiple large supercells moving into a favorable environment. I've had to make it there till 5 p.m. So let's see, could I have made it? What time would I have to leave North Platte to make it to Lubbock by 5 p.m.? It's a 9-hour drive. But I have to leave till 5, or didn't have to be there till after. Excuse me. Yeah, we'll just say 6 o'clock. I mean, I would have had to leave at 9 a.m. to head down there, but I didn't even look at it until it was too late. Getting pushed out from our storm. chased every day since May 23rd. We chased May 20th to when? I think like May 17th. Chased quite a bit this month, but we're gonna take some time to recover. There is a slight risk out for tomorrow. Let's see. For northeast Texas, southeast Oklahoma, Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and then there's another 2% tornado risk for Wisconsin and Illinois, so there's no way I'm making it over there. Then the following day, there's a marginal risk from northeast Kansas, northwest Missouri, southeast Nebraska, through most of Iowa, and the eastern 2/3 of Minnesota, and northwest Wisconsin. I don't think we're going to be chasing that either, so. Probably stop and get a time lapse and then call it a day, I think. Been a grind this season. Already drove about 35,000 miles since February. My first chase of the year was February 2nd, so that was Sagerton. Had 2 tornadoes down there, but last year this was kind of a down week too. I chased June 2nd and then I didn't chase again until June 11th. Storms are just way back behind their outflow. This is just going to congeal into a big MC. They are thunder. Well, a lot of our warning area. Up here in 1.6 miles and then grab some pictures and probably head home. I mean, this thing is not going to have a tornado threat. No supercells. Man, I wish I was in Texas right now. someone just reported a tornado in Minnesota as well. It looks like kind of those weird little Iowa tornadoes that I had last year. Little wispy things that really were only weak, but get a view of the shelf cloud now. Near Sanford, Texas.